So far in 40 days, I have booked 68 jobs. The revenue I have generated in 40 days is nearly 14,000.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mark with Limo Marketer, and I'm here with Sameer Nigam from Beltway Limousine out of Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining me today, Samir.
Hey, my pleasure. How's it going, Mark?
Good. I was speaking with Samir late last week. We were talking about something, a little side project we're working on. When we were speaking, number one, he was telling me kind of how things were going, how the marketing was going. And what surprised me was how good Samir was at knowing his numbers and pretty much had all of the precise information of, how many jobs booked, how many he had farmed out. And anyways, we got to talking, and that very much surprised me because a lot of newer operators aren't the greatest with that. And really, after hearing about his background, I just was like, Samir, you would be really interesting to have on. And would you mind doing a quick interview? So that's a long-winded way of saying Samir is a very interesting guy. And I'd love you guys to all find out more about him because I think it would provide those of you that watch this value that are, maybe starting out. We work with lots of brand new limo companies, but we also work with a lot of bigger limo companies. And so it's always great to hear stories from operators. So Samir, how long ago did you move to the US and why did you move to the US, by the way? I don't think I ever asked you that.
I moved 4 years ago. It was a very random call going to the US. I've heard tons of opportunities to work here, tons of opportunities in terms of jobs and business. So I was like, all right, let me try that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. When we spoke, I think it was on Friday, you were telling me all about what you had studied. And so I know originally you're from India, right? And
yes.
Then you just mentioned before I started the video, you went to school in Belgium as well?
Yes. I did one master's from Belgium, Brussels, international marketing, and I did a master's in finance from New Delhi.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So from New Delhi to Belgium. And then when you came here, and this was surprising to me, did you say you joined the Army for a few years, right?
Yes. I decided I would like to serve the U.S. through some government work. So then I found out U.S. Army would be a great option. I personally wanted to be a soldier someday or be a pilot, and I got the opportunity. So I served in 2019, 2020 as an enlisted soldier. Then I came out and I started to drive.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. That's around the time you started Uber, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think you mentioned earlier you started your ground transportation business in February. What was it that made you want to, make that shift from Uber to a black car service business? And was Uber just something you were doing on the side or were you doing it full time?
I was doing Uber full time and I was also coaching tennis full time. Yeah, so I was pretty much putting maybe 70, 75 hours a week.
Wow.
And one day, a person sat in my car and he was a client, says, hey, why don't you actually open your own limousine company? And I was like, okay, I had no idea what limousine is. I thought it's all stretch limousine work.
Yeah.
Then I YouTubed I did some search on YouTube and Mark's video pops up. And Mark is talking about limousine business. I decided, okay, I'm going to go into this business. I opened the company. I bought the car same week and I contacted Mark. And from there onward, it started. And that was back in February.
Whoa. Wait, that's funny. And by the way, I think a lot of people, when they hear limousine business, they think the same thing. I thought the same thing. You think of stretch limos, right? Why wouldn't you? So, wow. Okay. And so you had a client mention the limo business and then you looked on YouTube just about getting into the limousine business. And then you saw one of my videos. That's hilarious. But we've only actually been working together now a little over a month. I believe you had mentioned in February, you started meeting a few affiliates because I thought you mentioned to me the other day that you've got a few different affiliates, which by the way is so smart because relying on online marketing for all of your business is typically not the way to go, especially in the beginning. So how did you end up meeting other affiliates?
Great question, Mark. Actually, this is also coming from your side. When I called you or when I send you text messages, you told me without having affiliates as a new or as a fresher in this industry, there is no possibility of succeeding because once you have jobs, what would you do with others? And I was like, that does make sense. I started building relationship with companies who have been in the market for 20 years or 40 years. in Washington, D.C. area. And I got lucky that I met those guys who have been in this industry for that long.
Wow.
Not even know the word affiliate. So I learned that from you.
So how did you contact these guys? Did you just look them up online? Did you meet them somewhere or?
No, I didn't look them up online. Whichever SUV I was finding on the road, I decided I'm going to stop them and speak to them. So I think maybe I stopped 6 to 7 guys.
No way.
And it started to filter whichever restaurant they would be parked at. I would go and talk to them. And there are a few restaurants where you find limousine owners or drivers quite frequently going there. So it becomes a community when you, yes.
Okay, so that's the first fantastic tip. That's really how you get an in. Yeah, of course you can call. I actually don't think that would work that well just because they're wanting to generally speak with new customers. So when you call in their line, also getting the owner on the phone, good luck with that. However, you're 100% right. There's restaurants near me that I don't go to very often, but fancier places. But when I do, you always see and I notice it more now, likely because I'm in the industry, but I do see several SUVs waiting with chauffeurs loitering around. That's really where the best place I think to meet these guys, or if you're at a concert or whatever it might be, because there's that camaraderie, kind of all in the same boat, doing the same thing. And you can probably learn a whole lot. I'm guessing then you do know a couple now, which is great because you can give them work and vice versa.
You're very right about this, that when I called those affiliates, no one entertained me. So I decided the only way is to knock their window, just like that.
Okay, so you did try calling. The funny thing is, I might have even said to do that in a video. I really don't know, right? And that would have been good advice because it's just not a great way to connect with these guys because everyone always thinks, oh, this person wants something. And I'm guessing you're either meeting at these restaurants or whatever it might be, an event. They're either owner operators, meaning that it's a one-person business. Maybe they do affiliate work, or I guess there's a chance that you're also just meeting chauffeurs that work for a business. And was it a mix of both?
Mix of both.
Okay.
Yes. There are more one-person operator, like owners and operator, than people having fleet in this business. Not many owners are outside the ones who have fleet.
I guess I kind of you meaning a fleet, meaning full-time chauffeurs, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because it's expensive, I'm sure, and you'll probably find this out one day when you need to go looking for extra people. I've got a lot of clients that they're owner-operators, but they don't drive a lot, and they just work with a lot of independent operators. Payroll taxes, right? You save a lot of money on payroll taxes when you're kind of working with 1099 type employees because, if you have to hire someone full-time, not only do you have to keep them busy, but you're also paying a little bit of a premium. Now, of course, the bonus is you can send them on any job you want to anytime, but that makes a lot of sense. Very cool. You've been with us about 5 weeks now. What have you noticed about online?
40th day.
You even track the days. That's great. You know exactly how many jobs you've done through online marketing so far. I remember on Friday, now granted, you might not have been driving on Friday when we were speaking, but how do you track so well? Is it mainly you're just tracking it all in a CRM? Are you tracking it in a Google Sheet or?
Until now, I've been tracking on an Excel sheet. So every inquiry that comes to me, and once it gets booked, I put it on an Excel sheet. So I have entire information of pickup and drop-offs and number of passengers and all the details that are usually required. So far, in 40 days, I have booked 68 jobs through the clients that you have helped me acquire. 68 jobs in 40 days, and maybe about 20% of them are repeat orders.
Oh, okay. That's insane. For anyone watching this, I wish that was standard, but that's incredible. You've obviously been doing a very good job closing the leads because that's incredible. 68 jobs in 40 days. That's wild. You even had the exact number of how many or the amount of revenue you spent on farm outs. Because I remember you gave me that number. I'm like, wow, this guy really tracks everything.
Yes, I think, let me take a look at the Excel sheet. So far, I have farmed out $3,600 worth of job to the affiliates. The revenue I've generated in 40 days with the high-level app is nearly 14,000.
Wow.
And then repeat orders. So I think maybe around 20, 23,000 was my revenue last month, in the month of May.
Okay. Total revenue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say, a pretty good chunk of 70% of my income was through Limo Marketer's business.
Okay.
That's very risky because all of my eggs are in one basket now.
Yes. This is a great point. And this is why, I tell a lot of our new clients that are smaller limo businesses just starting out or whatever, it's so important to get some affiliate work because it does fluctuate. Every market is better some months, worse others. Not like Denver, Salt Lake City, where there's a few months where it's just booming, and then you have the shoulder months that are slower, and then the summer's a lot better. But even DC in your market, I know you live in Arlington, you serve the DC market. Some months are just better than others, but that is completely wild. And when you say repeat, do you mean you were just doing a round trip for them, I'm guessing? Or what do you mean by repeat exactly? Any sort of second job you do for them, essentially?
Yeah, so repeat orders include two. One is the airport round trip, airport transportation round trip, and the other one is second or third order coming from the same client, which they don't come through Limo Marketer mostly in that case because they already have my personal contact.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I've noticed that you're doing a great job of updating. So the software everyone uses that we work with is high level, and it's a CRM, which is essentially just an application that helps you keep track of how many, leads you're getting, how many quotes you're doing, how many of those quotes you're actually booking, right? And then helping you get reviews, which, by the way, how many reviews do you have now?
Oh my God. So in 1 month, I think I have maybe 25 plus reviews.
Whoa.
Around 25 reviews, let's say, in 1 month. I did not even know about reviews because I never had such a business where I have to have reviews.
Yes.
Now I have realized that reviews are very important. They bring a lot of repeat orders and the new clients too. You were the person who told me, Mark, that it's important to have reviews. Without having 1 or 2 reviews, I cannot just have you on the board and think about that you will flourish in this business.
Yeah, totally.
There were 2 to 3 conditions by you, which are not conditions, but they were like advices.
Yes.
If one wants to grow in this business, you said I should have affiliates. You mentioned that I should have reviews on Google and I should have presence on Google. And I should 24/7 be ready to answer calls and messages and respond to the messages at the earliest when there's an inquiry. So I decided these 4 to 5 things is my way. It's going to be my way. And I think it worked out for me. I am in a stage where I'm thinking of now either finding a dispatcher for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe I continue dispatching on my own. So the second thought is already there that I should have a dispatcher at some point if everything keeps going like that. And the next thing I'm looking is maybe I need to get a Sprinter van because I've had many orders with Sprinter van, not just SUV that I'm driving. Plus, these advices from you has also led to I might be joining the National Limousine Industry
Association, NLA.
Association. Yep. Yes, because I am in communication with those guys who are helping me to find some way to get there.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's great to, especially, so the advice I've gotten from past interviews I've done, I don't know if you ever saw my interview with Alan from Delaware Limo. He said, especially your local organizations, don't get me wrong, the NLA, it's great to be connected with your fellow operators nationwide or worldwide, really. But he said, get involved, meet your local kind of, I guess you could call them affiliates. There's usually local meetups. Like, for instance, California, we have the GCLA, the Greater California Livery Association. But even more local than that, like, okay, Baltimore, what did you call it? There's a nickname for the whole area, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. What is it again? Was that you who told me?
Yes, DMV.
DMV
stands for Washington, D.C.
Right, of course.
And Maryland and V, Virginia.
Okay, of course. So the DMV, which it's funny, whenever I hear that, I think of Department of Motor Vehicles, but it is the actual greater area there. So anyways, that's what Alan told me when I interviewed him. He said, he's gotten a lot of value from meeting those guys. But that's wild. So how many would you say 1 out of every, 8 or 10 jobs you might need a sprinter for? By the way, we're not even, I believe, targeting right now sprinters for you. I have to double check. I don't think we are. I think we're just targeting black car sort of stuff. But unfortunately, with online marketing, with Google Ads, there's no way there's no way to know how many people are needing a potential ride. So for instance, if someone says limo service to Dulles, okay, that's their search. And that's how we target people with Google Ads, with Bing Ads. It's based on their search, but they never say for 25 people. Maybe once in a great while they do, but most people don't. And so that's why what Sameer's saying here, what you're saying is like so big. And so what percent would you say do need something bigger?
Sprinter vans?
Yeah.
So out of 68 orders, I think I have 6 closed orders with sprinter vans.
Okay.
And they pay more because there was a minimum number of hours booking.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing a potential in that. That's why I'm going to request you, Mark, to set up that a new platform where only sprinter van can be targeted, which will, once I see the progress.
Right. Okay.
Once we see some numbers in that, then we go buy a sprinter van.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I think the reason I was getting you that confused, I was like, did I have that conversation with you? Because my client Armando, which is so funny because I interviewed him a few weeks ago. He's out of Seattle. He's pretty much in the same boat as you right now. He's looking, a sprinter van. He's like, should I get like some sort of just regular passenger van or a sprinter van? And he wanted the same thing, which is why not set up a landing page and then just throw $1,000 worth of ads so you can get, maybe, 30, 40 leads and see how much volume we can get for people looking for that kind of thing. Because as you know, I've always said, before you make the huge investment of like an $80,000, $100,000 vehicle, let's see if we can get that thing booked first. Now, I'm sure you know a bunch of affiliates or some right now that could likely use something like that or.
Right. Yeah. So once I get sprinter van, like currently I am using sprinter van of other owners for the work that we are doing. Same thing will be applied on the other side. Once I have a sprinter van, my affiliates will take it from me. I've already spoken to them about it. Of course, clients, the end user.
Nice. Okay. It's funny. I thought you told me on Friday, I think this was you, that you're new to the business and these affiliates you're connected with, you're already sending them work. They're like, whoa, what's going on? Like, you're already giving us work.
Yeah, they are kind of surprised. They're like, we have not seen this going on like in a long time. And there was a time when this industry was at its boom, which was maybe around 2000, 2006.
Yeah.
And after that, Uber came in.
Yep.
Limousine business kind of started to go down and down the hill. And they are saying, but how are you doing it? I'm like,
yeah.
So I have no idea how I'm doing it. I'm only a processor. I just process things.
I like that. Because I'm sure in most situations, probably 90% of independent operators, they're usually looking for work. And when they're contacting other affiliates, usually it's a one-way relationship in that they're doing work for that larger affiliate. It's really cool when you can bring some clients to other affiliates because it just makes you so much more valuable to them. And then when they have work, and hopefully this is the case, I know it's not always, but hopefully then when they have work, maybe you're their first call because you're the one giving them work. And that's why it's so valuable to be able to somehow get your own clients, which speaking of that, and this is kind of a side note here, but actually the reason Samir and I were talking on Friday is because I'm trying to figure out other ways guys like Samir can kind of get busy without just relying on Google, Bing ads for everything. And I'm not talking affiliates here. I'm talking, okay, are there other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor, TikTok, LinkedIn, that if we post on consistently and maybe promote in a certain way, as I know I mentioned to you, Samir, not being overly salesy, just providing value, right? If we do that consistently, maybe, and it's probably going to start small, but I think if we do that consistently over the next few months, I bet you we can start getting you some additional business. So hopefully in a few months, I would love it if Google ads was only, online marketing was only, let's say 30-40%. I mean, like paid marketing. And then maybe affiliates are 30%. Obviously, I don't want your revenue to go down, but I'm hoping in 6 months, maybe you're at 45,000 a month. That'd be pretty cool. And this last month, that was your biggest month ever, right?
Yes, that was my biggest month ever. It was doubled before I met you. It was half of today.
Yeah.
It was doubled after introducing that high-level and Limo marketers solution. There's another stat which might be very interesting for someone who wants to start the business, who are already existing in the business. Pricing is the key. Companies that try to charge more to clients, they're likely not to get much orders. I decided I'm going to charge what's fair in the market, but also know the pricing from my affiliates. So I would call my affiliate and say, hey, how much would you charge for this one? I have an inquiry. I do not know what to charge. Let's say it's from Dallas Airport to DC, which is about 35 miles drive. And I had no idea what to charge to a client. I would call my affiliates because I build a little bit of connection and relationship, and I would just tell them, hey, I have no idea how much to charge. I don't want to undercharge and I don't want to overcharge. Please let me know what is the right pricing. So whatever pricing they say, I would charge somewhere around it. Okay. And I was also giving more. I was adding value by, for example, I would show you this because I'm sitting in the car right now. Okay. So I provide some kind of snacks here. You see,
I like
that. Sparkling water, there is regular water, there are my business cards there, plus then there are a few snacks. And providing these things helps clients to be like, you know what, I would like to go with you. Because now clients are writing similar reviews that they provide such things. So this is helping me to more opportunities to serve more.
Totally. Look, especially because, you're just starting out. And in the beginning, right. I mean, it's wild that you've gotten 25 reviews or whatever that, like it's in the 20s and it's only been a month. I mean, think about that, guys. Like it's been 1 month. What about 12 months? He's going to have more reviews in 6 months than a lot of the top companies on Google. It's crazy when you think that a new limo business owner can get that many reviews that quick. I know a lot of businesses that have been in business for years and they only have 20 something reviews. The great thing is the affiliate thing, the pricing you're getting from them. I guess I shouldn't say the great thing is, I guess my question is, so are they giving you an affiliate rate or are they giving you what they would charge typically an end client? Because your results have been incredible, like really, really great. I mean, that's a lot of booked rides in your first month, which I always tell people a lot of times the first month is hit and miss. Your account really took off in the first month and usually they end up always taking off eventually, but wow. So you're saying that was the rate that they would give their end clients essentially?
Yeah. So I asked them the rate that they would charge to the clients and what is the pricing structure and how should we base the limousine industry's pricing? How much do you charge per mile or how much do you charge when you're in traffic and just things like that. And whatever price they say, I might be 2% or 3% lower than them.
Yeah. Okay.
And because I'm a new startup, right?
Yeah.
I can't be charging what they are charging. Sometimes when I'm 5% lower than them, I have been getting good opportunities. And those affiliates are now receiving business from me. So they are asking me, what am I doing? Because I've given them 10 jobs in 2 weeks of time. And they're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I say, I have no idea. What comes to me, I process and I forward.
I love that. I process it. Yeah. Well, look, not to mention that it sounds like you're getting a decent amount of repeats from these. And really, that's where the money's made. I know we've talked about this before and I've said it on videos. It's the repeat clients that this is all about, right? And it sounds like almost a third have used you again. And I can't wait to do this again in 6 months. I know you've got another pickup you're doing soon. So I just want to thank so much for coming on and spending some time while you're in the car. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you, Mark. Sometimes I feel like, what am I going to do? Let's say you become a real estate developer someday. Yeah. And then Mark has a company which is developing townhouses. And then if Mark is not advertising for us, what's going to happen to this guy?
Yeah, well...
So although I want you to grow, but also make sure that you do keep us with you.
Of course. So here's the thing, Samir, like, don't get me wrong. I know our advertising has helped. I just know after having talked to you last week, you're going to do well regardless. And here's why, guys, because I had this idea like, hey, let's try this social media thing. And you know what? Samir responded within like the first 5 or 10 minutes of me posting it. in our group, in our school group. Yeah, I'm down. And then not only that, but I said, okay, it's going to take some work and I need you to provide this, this, and this. He sends me a Google Doc with like all these ideas of things he can post about and just a whole framework. And you even gave me the challenge idea. Let's do a challenge because we want a few of our clients to really try this out, start posting on social media every day. And here's the thing, it's not always comfortable. If you've never posted a video online or, been a big social media person, all of a sudden start posting your face and a video of yourself online. And Samir said, why not do a challenge? So look, man, you're an idea guy and you're someone who follows through. So I appreciate the compliment, but you're going to do well with or without. Hopefully I'll help you grow a little faster than you would have, but
yeah, that would be awesome.
Cool, man.
Be awesome. But I do want to say, like, whoever is going to watch this video, it's not just about, sometimes we say, okay, I got lucky or advertising is working so well, but I have put in 18 to 20 hours of work each day.
I was going to say, you must be working just nonstop.
Yes. For 30 days, I have put in that effort, the first 30 days. And the next 10 days, I've started to slow down and putting my effort in terms of driving, and I'm more forwarding the jobs to others. So I think about what else can I do? Now I have 2 drivers that I'm in communication with. If everything goes well, I might hire them once I get Sprinter van, second SUV.
Yeah.
So you have to put in hours. It can't be just without. It just doesn't take off on its own.
Totally. And especially in the beginning. Yeah. And by the way, on that note, I've got some clients that maybe I'll even link you up to. And I think a lot of other companies are doing what they're doing, but they're essentially not hiring people on as W-2 employees. And I don't know what, the law is in DC or whatever, but I believe one of my clients, they essentially, they have a vehicle that they're leasing to someone. And then they have an agreement where if he has jobs that he needs this person to do, that person will be available for him. And I think the person's paying him for the lease, but he's also paying him, like a weekly stipend or something. Anyways, I don't know. I can't give you the full, how he's doing it, but might be someone you should talk to because it's kind of a creative way of doing it because it's not easy with a W-2 employee. If you do that, then you have like a fixed cost and you're like, man, every week or every month, I have to pay this person a part-time or a full-time wage plus, all those employment taxes and all of that.
Yes. I am not hiring them as on W-2 basis.
You would be
I'm trying to draw another as 1099.
Okay, good.
Which will benefit them.
Yes.
So I get to do the job.
And that's the benefit, right? So my client who was telling me about this, he said, look, these guys, I think they were both Uber drivers, the ones he was trying to use. A lot of them, they want guaranteed amount of money because it's the fluctuation. Even with Uber, right? It's week to week. Some weeks you kill it, other weeks you don't. And knowing that, okay, I've got my bills paid, that's big. Hey, Samir, thanks again for doing this, man. This is great. I know you're busy. You don't even have time to do it at home. You're out working.
Yeah,
man.
I'm sorry, Mark. This is not the best example. I'm in the car. I was driving a little bit, getting somewhere, and we are still having this call and interview. And this is not the best thing to do.
No. Hey, man, it's perfect. No, really, it's interesting. When you're in the car, man. Look, a lot of people that watch this channel, they're watching it from in the car. They're listening. So I think it works. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks again, Samir.
Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that.